So this is going to lay the foundation of the business building we're going to be doing. Now, the standout statement, it can look a little bit like an elevator pitch in its structuring. And this is going to lay out the from to line. So we have the from and we have the to, and that means where does your prospect start and where do they end up at the end of the work that you do together. So it looks like this. You know how many ideal clients struggle with number one problem? Well, what I do is number one solution, so that long-term aspiration. So we're talking about your ideal client in the first segment. We want it to be specific. You can't just say, you know how many women or men. It's too wide. We need to narrow down a little bit. It could be that you put a name that's an egoic label, like an athlete or an entrepreneur or an empty nester or a teacher or a executive, right? These are titles that humans associate with. If somebody says to me, raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur, hands going up, right? If somebody says to me, raise your hand if you are a passionate human, my hand's going up, but it's a little bit of a wider thing. I want it to be like, that's me. Like, so we're looking for a clear thing for your ideal client to know that it's them. Number two, we're looking for the top problem that keeps them up at night, and it needs to be external. We're going into kind of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs with this. We're going to solve problems that people have that bother them big time. When people say, I don't have enough peace in my life, nobody's waking up in the middle of the night saying that. We got to get to what's the problem that gets people viscerally frustrated about their situation. And we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs because the basics are relationships, health, money. Like, you can get really, and I know most of you or many of you are personal growth coaches, and you know your thing is about helping people with their inner game. Guess what? So is mine. So you'll see that what I do is very much a combination of the both, but I hang my hat on. I help people to use, you know, virtual stages to attract high ticket clients. Like, it's very external, right? So I'll give you a couple more caveats and then I'll give you my example and we'll go through it. So top of mind problem, external, not inner game, something that keeps people up at night. Well, what I do is the solution. The solution is not your 4-step method. The solution is the opposite of the problem. We're talking in benefits. We want to speak to, this is going into the brain of your prospect, and we want them to be like, I want that. So if the problem is that they don't have enough clients, the solution is going to be around the topic of, I help them get a plethora of clients. We're going to say it a little differently. It's not going to be like, I don't have clients and I do have clients. It's not going to be that boring, but it is basically like black and white. It's like whatever the problem is, the solution is that. We can add a little bit of flair in here, a little bit of our unique thing, but not too much because it makes it about you. This is not about you. And remember too, this is not an elevator pitch. This is an internal document to define the starting and end point of your client. So get that clear for the purpose of laying the foundation properly. So that long-term aspirations. So the reason why we have the so that long-term aspiration is because we are talking about well after they work with you, they're going to have some transformation. So there's the transformation that our clients get while working with us. That's going to be the third one. This is what it means to them, what's possible for them, right? So this might be something like so that they can create even like, you know, a 7-figure business aligned with their core gifts. Maybe in your 90-day program, you're not going to get them to 7 figures, but that's the so that. So it can go wider. It can be a lot more like so that they can have the family and the house and live that secure experience that every, you know, American dreams of, but truly have it with long-term financial stability, right? Like it could, you're not going to deliver financial stability in a 90-day thing. So, but it's the thing that they want that for, right? So that's the standout statement. Now, my example would be, you know how many transformational coaches and speakers struggle with how to stand out? Well, what I do is help them integrate their X factor in their business and use stages to attract high ticket clients so that they can create a 7-figure freedom-based business built around their gifts. Okay, so I'm not trying to go for like the perfect one. I'm giving you guys just an example of what it looks like to be clear.